You are about to watch a Top Hat production. Please subscribe and click on notifications. Enjoy the show.
Everybody, I hope you're having a great night. We got a lot to cover here tonight, and God be it the truth. Today is January 12th. Well, actually, it's the 13th, and I'm doing some news from the 12th that I put together for you. And I like to, research it, put it together, and then read it to you, because it's important that you make decisions, not just like have videos shoved at you and you don't know. Like I have I took the video of the lady that was driving into the ICE agent, and I slowed it down and zoomed into it enough so you can see that the ICE agent was pushed out of the way. And that means that he was hit, one way or another, and he reacted the only way he understood, defensively. Okay, so anyway, Representative Ilhan Omar is at the center of a massive political firestorm in Minneapolis involving an ICE shooting and a federal fraud investigation. Here is the breakdown of what is happening. The Minneapolis ICE shooting controversy. Last Wednesday, an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old American citizen in Minneapolis. The conflict, President Trump and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem have labeled the shooting an act of domestic terrorism, claiming Good tried to use her car as a weapon. Omar's stance, appearing on Face the Nation recently, Omar called the rhetoric unjustifiable. She accused the administration of making early judgments before a full investigation and urged citizens to film ICE agents to ensure accountability and transparency. Blocked oversight visit. Over the weekend, January 10th, Representative Omar, along with Representatives Angie Craig and Kelly Morrison, were physically blocked and ejected from an ICE detention facility in Minneapolis. What happened? They were initially let in by a long-term official, but were kicked out 10 minutes later. The reason? The Trump administration invoked a new rule requiring lawmakers to give 7 days notice before visits. DHS also accused Omar of having the explicit goal of hunting down ICE officers. Omar has slammed this as a blatant attempt to obstruct her congressional oversight duties. The $9 billion fraud surge? Minneapolis is currently ground zero for a massive federal investigation onto a COVID-era welfare fraud scheme. The surge? The Trump administration has deployed over 2,400 federal agents to the city, more than double the local police force, to investigate fraud and conduct immigration sweeps. Omar's reaction? She has denounced the surge as a political stunt designed to create terror, confusion, and chaos in the Somali community. She pointed out that while there were scams, the Biden administration had already adjudicated many of the cases without needing a military-style surge. Governor Tim Walz, the governor, Mr. Walz, Tampon Tim. Directly linked to this BS, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the 2024 VP candidate, announced last week that he will not seek re-election. He called the federal focus on Minnesota a political vendetta and pleaded with the White House to leave my people alone. Omar praised his decision as selfless in the face of federal pressure. A summary of this is it's a total deadlock. Omar is accusing the Trump administration of using her district as a political laboratory for aggressive ICE tactics, while the White House is framing Omar as defender of Somali fraudsters and domestic terrorists. And on we go, folks. On and on we go. In 2026, the political landscape in Minnesota is incredibly polarized. While the major cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul are in a legal and rhetoric war with the White House, there are several mayors in the state who have become vocal, high-profile supporters of President Trump. Based on the current BS and political friction, there isn't just one mayor. There is a growing group of them who are backing the president's Operation Metro Surge. The greater Minnesota mayors, in contrast to Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, who recently told ICE to get the F out of several mayors, get the F out, is what he said. Where was I? Several mayors from the Iron Range and suburban areas have doubled down on their support for Trump's 2026 agenda. And there is definitely a 2026 agenda. We have to keep informed, folks. We have to hear this. Be able to think about it and process it, because we have our lives to live, and we need to face the truth in the news. All right, this group, which was originally formed during the previous campaigns, has grown in 2026. Mayors from cities like Virginia, Chisholm, and LI have publicly backed the president, arguing that the focus on mining, tariffs, and cracking down on fraud is better for their local economies than the policies coming out of the Twin Cities. The argument: these mayors often frame their support as common sense over radicalism. They have publicly welcomed federal agents and stating that if people aren't breaking the law or committing welfare fraud, they have nothing to fear from the 3,000 plus federal agents currently in the state. The suburban law and order shift: some mayors in the suburbs surrounding the Twin Cities have broken ranks with the state's domestic leadership, Governor Walz and AG Keith Ellison. While they may not have a hard-on in the sense of personal obsession, they are using Trump's federal surge as a way to distance themselves from the chaos in Minneapolis. They have criticized the lawsuit filed today by Ellison and Frey, calling it a waste of taxpayer money that protects criminals rather than citizens. Oh, bah humbug. They have criticized the lawsuit. Yeah, they're always criticizing something. Okay, why the hard-on for Trump? Well, to answer that question, for these mayors, supporting the president 2026 is about a few key things. The welfare fraud scandal. The administration's focus on the $9 billion fraud investigation in Minnesota has given these mayors a powerful talking point. They claim the Twin Cities elite ignored the problem, and while their residents paid the price. And you can see how that's true. Really, you can. I mean, that young man that did the news story and kind of broke it, you know, he's been under fire himself, and that's pretty scary. I mean, he's just a young man going around with a camera and a friend maybe and some people to help him out, cover the story. The Leering Center, that really kind of tipped the iceberg over there. Mining and industry. In northern Minnesota, Trump's 2026 executive orders to fast-track copper nickel mining have made him a hero to mayors who see it as the only way to save their town's futures. Direct access. Trump has a habit of calling these local mayors directly or inviting them to the White House, making them feel like they have more power than they do through the traditional state government channels. I mean, think about it. If you're not agreeing with your own state government, they're not going to make you feel like you have any power. They cut you off, and Trump's trying to give them some kind of sense of empowerment. That's what we all need, including these officials who are trying to stay on the side of the right, the good, the positive, everything the Lord God is all about. On the latest episodes of The Five and and Gutfield, January 12th, 2026. Greg Gutfield has been having a field day with the Minneapolis meltdown. In classic Gutfield fashion, he's framing the Ilhan Omar and Jacob Frey situation as a mix of radical theater and pathetic desperation. Here is his take on the BS. On the ICE shooting and Renee Good, Gutfield's main argument is that the left, specifically Frey and Omar, are practicing what he calls preemptive outrage. Well, I guess that's a disguised term of some sort to, block. The Tide Pod comparison. He recently stated that interfering with law enforcement has become the new Tide Pod challenge for radicals. He mocked Omar for calling the shooting an execution before the body cam footage was even fully processed, calling it a deliberate attempt to incite riots. The professional agitator Angie Gutfield echoed President Trump's recent claim that Renee Good was a professional agitator. He joked that the only thing good about the situation was how quickly it revealed the insurrectionist DNA of the Minneapolis leadership. Scary stuff, folks. On the Ilhan Omar being blocked from ICE, Gutfield found the footage of Omar being ejected from the ICE facility hilarious. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, Omar just, did she sign the deport papers yet? Anyway, the hall monitor joke. He compared Omar to a power-tripping hall monitor who finally found a door she couldn't open. He argued that her oversight visit was actually a scouting mission for protesters. The silence of the Dems. He pointed out on Gutfield that almost no mainstream Democrats are coming to her defense. His theory, even her own party is tired of her "the sky is falling and it's America's fault" routine. I mean, that's what Omar is constantly insinuating. On Mayor Jacob Frey's F-bomb, Frey's viral moment telling ICE to get the F out was a block on yesterday's Gutfield show. Sedition. Light. Greg agreed with guest Will Kane, and Frey's rhetoric is borderline sedition. He mocked Frey for trying to look tough after years of letting Minneapolis be the nation's capital of carjackings and COVID fraud. The small dog analogy? He compared Frey to a chihuahua yapping at a semi-truck, suggesting that the more Frey screams, the more federal agents Trump will send just to spite him. Ouch. The $9 billion elephant in the room. Does anybody know about a $9 billion fraud scheme going on? Oh, yes, let's read about it. The overreaching Gutfield theory is that this entire anti-ICE crusade is a smokescreen. He argues that Frey and Omar are only attacking ICE to distract from the federal fraud investigation into the $9 billion welfare scandal. The quote, "They aren't worried about justice for Renee Good. They're worried about jail for their campaign donors." The Gutfield bottom line, Greg's take is that Minneapolis has become a failed state experiment and that Frey and Omar are the mad scientists trying to blow up the lab before the inspectors, the Trump administration, find the receipts. And they will. They'll find the receipts, and we'll get to the bottom of this, and we'll get to move on with our lives, which is a good thing, folks. This video, there is a video of the incident, but how you interpret it depends entirely on which side you're listening to. In 2026, this has become one of the most disputed pieces of footage in the country. Now, I have the video, and I put something together here for you, and I really want you to see it if I can find it. I thought I had it. I really did. I really thought I had it. Maybe I have to pull it in, which, if you just bear with me, since I do it all by myself, y'all, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. God, I know I just did this. Where is it? Work with me, folks. Oh my. Well, I just put the video together as God is my witness, and I should have it, and I don't know why it's not there. I'm going to open up some stuff here and see if I can get it for you, because I really don't know where it should be in my media log to do it. Lady Dies. That's what it's all about. It's called Lady Dies, and I'm trying to find that. And what I do is I zoom in to the incident from another camera's perspective that's shooting it from the front. And I zoom in and I slow the video down so you can determine what you see to the best of your ability. Yeah, it's a little kind of work, but if you look at it, and I did it 4 times in this video so you could see it. Let's just see here. Where did it go? Let me see if I can find it and pull it into my show here for you, because I want to play it for you and then read the rest of this good stuff to you. All right, regular videos, and where is Lady Dies? Lady Di. Remember Princess Diana? I loved her. I bet you most people did. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? All right. This is just bizarre. I'm thinking it's this one, but I have to open it up, and unfortunately,
they're approaching.
Yeah,
Okay.
Play it.
Agents just pulling up here.
If I see it slow down,
right.
I will play this video for you. So help me God.
That it's hard to see what takes place in this
Well, I don't
particular
think that
video.
one's the right one. I think it's the other one, but I'll know in 2 seconds. So stand by. I made the mistake.
They're approaching.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is ICE agents just pulling up here. The vehicle is
There we go.
right
right.
I found it. Now, I will pull this video into the program here. There it goes. And I had it all along. Who would have thunk? All that worry about nothing, huh? Forgive me, okay? I'm trying to give you a good job and an honest-to-God job of what's going on in the world today, and let you decide for yourselves. And this is the video I want you to see, and you determine what you see here, okay? And I'll see you on the other side of the video.
They're approaching.
Yeah,
okay.
this is ICE agents just pulling up here. The vehicle is
Lower
right
right.
there.
And it happens so fast that it's hard to see what takes place in this particular video, but that is the front angle, and then we have also obtained some video from behind where it happens, but that is the vehicle that belongs to the woman who was killed today. And as Randy said, there were 3 agents in particular surrounding the car. It's unclear why she was parked at an angle in the street, or what was happening in the street at that time. We do know that as they approached her vehicle, one agent told her to get out of the car, and then we see the car start to move, and then we hear the shots.
So that video you just saw is the one that President Trump also viewed this afternoon as well. And post watching that video, the president did put out a statement. I believe we have that for you. And it reads like this: I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. We will say from our observations, the officer does not appear to have been on the pavement. He was in front of that bumper at the time, but we never saw from any of our angles him hit the pavement. He goes on to say, is there more of the president's statement, or is this the full context? He goes on to say they are just trying to do a job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this, and these are his words, radical left movement of violence and hate. Again, that was President Trump's evaluation as he watched the video earlier.
And then we have the clip of the perspective from behind the vehicle as well that we want to show you. So you've seen the perspective from the front, and now we're going to show you the perspective from behind from somebody who had a cell phone out. We're going to try to get to a point where we can maybe slow this down and show you some still shots. But as Randy was saying, we see all of the agents standing in the street, nobody on the ground. Again, that is the perspective from behind, and we've watched it several times. So again, that vehicle the woman was in is it's parked in the street. We don't know for how long though, and it was at an angle, and we know that ICE agents then approached that vehicle, and then the vehicle started to take off. Then after you hear the shots, it veers off into that parked car on the side of the street. Kristi Noem also issued a statement today, and I don't know if we can put it up on the screen, but just want to give you the perspective of all the different reactions that are coming in as a result of this shooting this morning. Noem saying it was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively, shot to protect himself and the people around him. My understanding is she was hit and is deceased, and we've confirmed that. This goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and law enforcement are under every single day.
So, as you can see, that video, in my opinion, if you value my opinion at all, it shows that the ICE agent was in front of the car, and he got pushed around because she hit him. Anyway, so let me read some more. The two versions of the story. The Trump administration's claim the car was a weapon. The narrative, the White House and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem claim the video shows Renee Nicole Good using her maroon Honda SUV as a weapon of domestic terrorism. What they point to in the video after being told to get out of the effing car, Good reverses and then moves the car forward. The president claims she ran him over, and that is a miracle the agent is alive. Now, he could have went under the car, but he was trying to move away from the front of the car. And that's to the ICE agents, you know, thank God he did that. But she did hit him. And it's in this video, so you can play it over and over again if you want and see it. I slowed it down, zoomed it in. I mean, you can see that the agent was in front of the car on the driver's side, and he rolled himself somehow over to the other thing. But she aimed the car at him, and she hit him and kept going. That's it. Crunch. Trump told reporters on Air Force One that you can hear a crunch in the video, which he interprets as the car hitting the agent. The mayor, Omar, witness claim the shooting was an execution. The narrative, Mayor Jacob Frey, Representative Ilhan Omar, and Governor Tim Walz call the federal narrative pure propaganda and bull's sugar. Well, you know, I'm being nice about it. What they point to, they argue the video shows Good was calm, saying, "I'm not mad at you," and was simply trying to drive away from a chaotic situation where agents were giving conflicting orders. The hip injury. Mayor Frey mocked the idea that the agent was run over, stating the agent walked away with a minor hip injury he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door. That's pitiful. I mean, it's really pitiful. Just think about this. If I aimed the car at you and I hit you and you were smart enough and, you know, you had physical dexterity enough to roll yourself around the side of the car, would you not be mad at me? Doesn't take an Einstein to figure that one out. The frame-by-frame independent analysis by outlets like the Washington Post suggests that While the car moved forward, the agent stepped out of the way and fired his shots from the side of the vehicle as it veered past him, not while he was being rammed. Okay, you're being rammed. Now what do? You try to get out of the way, and then you say, consequences, boom, boom. What is actually in the video? The POV point of view, it's shaky cam footage from the agent's hand-chest area as he walks around the car. The dialogue, you hear Renee Good say, "It's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you." And her wife, Becca, shouting, "Drive, baby, drive," right before the shots. The action, the car moves forward, the camera jerks violently, shots are fired, and the car rolls away and crashes into a parked vehicle. The bottom line, the video exists, but it doesn't settle the argument. To the White House, it's proof of an attack. To Minneapolis leadership, it's proof of a federal agent losing his cool and shooting a woman who was trying to leave. Well, you make up your mind. You've seen the video. You can back this video up. It's zoomed in. It's slowed down. You decide. I think he was hit, and I think she was an overzealous protester and doing something very wrong, which made her cross into terrorism, making her a terrorist. And he reacted the only way he could, with the instinct to, well, we got to stop this from ever happening again. Boom. In January 2026, President Trump's response to the Minneapolis situation has been a mix of aggressive defense of federal agents and a sharp political attack on the city's leadership. He is treating the conflict as a definitive battle for law and order against what he calls a radical left insurrection. Here is exactly what he has to say and the strategy he is employing. On the ICE shooting, Renee Nicole Good, speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One and posting on Truth Social, Trump has fully endorsed the self-defense narrative. The Crunch comment, Trump stated that he personally viewed the video and claimed you can see and hear a crunch where the car allegedly hit the agent. He said, "I want to see nobody get shot. But I want to see nobody trying to run over policemen either." Characterizing the victim, he labeled Renee Good as a radical person and a professional agitator, suggesting that her actions were part of a coordinated effort to harass law enforcement. Blaming the friend, he repeatedly referred to Good's wife, Becca, as her friend, accusing both of being highly disrespectful and implying their behavior made the deadly encounter foreseeable. On Operation Metro Surge, Trump has framed the deployment of 2,000 plus federal agents into Minneapolis as a necessary cleanup of a failed state, targeting fraud. He justified the surge by focusing on the $9 billion welfare fraud scandal, claiming that the Somali population and local leaders have turned the city into a hub for criminal activity. Bypassing local rule, he has praised DHS Secretary Kristi Noem for running an awesome, successful operation and has shown no intention of backing down despite Mayor Frey's legal challenges. On Ilhan Omar and Jacob Frey, the president views the Minneapolis leadership not as a legitimate partners, but as political enemies. The sedition narrative. Trump's allies have echoed his sentiment that Frey and Omar are essentially committing sedition light by obstructing federal officers. Retaliation claims, when asked about the lawsuit filed by Minnesota officials, Trump suggested that the city's problems are its own fault for not voting for him. He has used his platform to highlight the friction, essentially telling his base, this is what happens when you let the radical left run a city. Executive tactics. Beyond words, Trump's administration is using specific hardball tactics. Evidence lockdown. The FBI and DOJ have taken sole control of the shooting investigation, blocking the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, BCA, from accessing the scene or the evidence. Financial pressure. The administration has frozen over $10 billion in federal child care and family assistance funds for Minnesota and other resistant states, citing fraud and misuse. Trump is using the Minneapolis crisis to prove his America First strength. To him, the ICE agent is a hero and the victim was an agitator. And the Mayor Frey is a weak leader who lost control of his city. Folks, you've just heard like the top part of what is in the news. And now we have to find out, what does God think of all this, and plug all that into it. It is completely understandable to seek a firm foundation when things feel chaotic and polarizing. With everything happening in Minneapolis and the intense national debate, these verses that I'm about to read with you offer a reminder of where true peace and authority reside. Here are some of the most encouraging scriptures I could look up and read to you. On peace amidst chaos, John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Oh, God's sovereignty over leaders. Daniel 2:21. He changes times and sessions. He changes times and seasons. He deposes kings and raises up others. I got to get a new pair of glasses, folks. That's what's going on here. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the discerning. Psalm 46:1-2. God is our refuge and strength and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea. Proverbs 21:1. In the Lord's hand, the king's heart is a stream of water that he channels toward all who please him. Please the Lord. Get to know him. Read his words. Psalm 91's a good long psalm to read. Trust me. I've read it many times. On strength and courage, Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. On seeking justice and mercy. Makkah 6:8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, to act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. Psalm 9:9. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Now, I put those things together for you to be able to be encouraged, to be inspired, and I hope that it reaches you. I hope you are touched by some of the stuff that I've done here today. And I want to say that I really love you, my brothers and sisters, and that I'm always trying to, make it so that I'm bringing you something new and something good and something, well, a little exciting. But I'm doing all this by myself without any help, and so therefore I make a lot of mistakes, boo-boos, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, I want you to have a good night. We always end the show with the Lord's Prayer, but Jesus has a word for you, and maybe you should listen.
Thank you for watching a Top Hat production.
Ohano ohil, salawetu, ahund vashmeya, nith kadesh moch, tife man kufach, nihoe sobionach, ekenet vashmeya, of bara. Aplam lachman desukonam yomanam. Washboklan, ahobein de watohein. Iken atov hanan. Shbakin lehaybein. Leta'alan lenesyonal. Elafaslan men bisha metul didlak hi malkuta hayla we despota liolan al